Welcome back to MTN Live in the Mountains. Now on the couch with us, we have Kelsey, Marlett, and Emily Marlett. Guys, thanks for coming in and speaking with us. Kelsey's pretty unique. She's a 13-year-old over at Hardin Park School here in Watauga County, and she's written a book, a novel called Pintus. So there's the book. It's pretty cool, pretty unique. Tell us a little bit about Pintus and really how you came up with this. I'm pretty sure that, like you said, it's got to be a long process.
Well, Pintus is an action-adventure story set in the Middle Ages about a prince who, when set with the task of finding a queen, instead finds a mystery. And I wrote this book during National Novel Writing Month, which is basically a challenge to write an entire novel in 1 month. So I wrote the entire first draft for Pintus in 1 month.
Right.
Wow.
This challenge, though, is this a challenge that's for most elementary school kids, or is this a national challenge?
This is a national challenge.
Okay.
This,
no age limit on this challenge?
No.
Okay.
But then I spent around 6 to 9 months editing with a retired English teacher who also happens to be my grandmother.
That's perfect for you.
Yes.
Okay.
So what got you inspired to write this book?
Well, I started writing in 2nd grade. That was when it really took off for me, and it's developed since. But with this particular book, it was more of a historical idea than a specific person. The witch huntings of the Middle Ages very much interested me, just the horror of it all,
Yes.
And I kind of built off of that, and the story formed itself around it.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the story of Pintus. What's the book about?
Well, like I said before, it's about a prince, and he's kind of discovering who he is and the mysteries that have been hidden from him. And it's just focusing around that area.
Okay.
How long would it take someone to read the book? Could they get it done in like a day? Because some people just love to read books, and they can just read them in 1 day.
Well, I've talked to a lot of readers, and a lot of them actually said that they had it read bang.
Yeah.
Like they had it done within the day. But I don't know if that's because they're just avid readers or if they really enjoyed it or what. But I've heard a lot of different. It's probably ranged from a day to 4 days.
Right.
But usually it's pretty quick.
So what were all your friends saying? I mean, I know they're probably really excited for you that, you've published your first novel. You're probably y'all famous over at Hardin Park.
Oh, my friends, I love them. I have the most supportive, amazing friends. I have really great time with them. They're very supportive.
So what's coming up? Have you started to write anything else?
Well, there's one that I'm working on, but it's completely unrelated to Pintus. It's about a teenage girl, and it's more emotional struggle than action adventure. So
so that's going to be your next novel that you're working towards.
Yeah.
But one of the teachers in her school, 5th grade teacher, Ms. Brubaker, has read the book to her class, and we've gotten feedback from them, and
the kids.
they actually are all very interested in a sequel to the book, but she's not quite there yet.
I don't know exactly where I'm wanting the characters, because I'm very hesitant with sequels, because I'm scared that they'll wear out or change the plot,
So at the end of this book, is it kind of like a cliffhanger? Does it kind of like lead to something else or the possibility?
Well, it has some unanswered questions. There are definitely some things that aren't quite closed off yet. There's no epilogue. It just kind of cuts off at a triumphant moment. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
That's awesome. So is there any other maybe books or authors that have inspired you to write?
Well, I love Hugh Howey. I actually met him, and now he's quite popular, so that was exciting. And also an author, a teenage novelist, Kaya Elena. She really helped me throughout my whole publishing of the book and getting my work out there. And she gave me advice on how to advertise, and I built my website with her help. So
yeah, talk a little bit about how you got the book out, how you got it published, and all that stuff.
With the publishing, I used a self-publishing website called CreateSpace, and just on there I uploaded my file, my finished edited file, and I designed the cover with the help of my other grandmother, who happens to be an artist.
Well, God, your grandmothers are just wonderful.
They are. They're amazing.
But, and this has been a great way for her to connect with them, to get to know them on a level that's different because they're working together on a project.
Yeah.
And
I spent so many hours over the phone with my grandmother, who I edited this with, because she actually lives in Colorado.
Okay.
So we spent many hours over the phone with editing this.
That's awesome. So we talked a little bit about earlier, before the show started. So are you wanting to become a professional writer? Is that maybe where your dream is heading here?
That's my dream. That's what I love to do. It's what I've loved to do ever since second grade. It's what I love doing.
yeah, it's kind of funny because she is so much into writing that she'll come home from school and you'll think she'll be worn out from the schoolwork and whatnot. She'll sit down on her computer and she'll just start typing away. In fact, a couple of Christmases ago, we gave her a netbook for her Christmas present, and she used it so much that the keys started to fall off of the computer. And so like the following year, we had to replace it with something new. But she spends so much time doing that rather than playing video games or doing certain sports or other activities, which she also enjoys. But she would first like to just sit down and write.
Now, when she was really young, did you? I'm sure you had to play some kind of an influence in her passion for this. Did you read to her a lot when she was a little kid?
Of course we read, and she's always loved reading, and she does battle the books, so that's a lot of reading these days too. But the writing, it's just come naturally to her. My mom has a background in English and Latin, but it was never something that I was inspired to do. So I think it's interesting. I think it's definitely a natural, kind of inborn talent that she just is able to develop now, and it's like a pulling for her. She's always
And I feel like writing, that is a hard talent sometimes. A lot of people struggle with writing. And, for you being so young and you're already such an amazing writer, your skills and abilities are just going to skyrocket from here now out. And you're just going to become an even better writer than you already are right now.
Yeah, did you ever hit like a writer's block in this book? I mean, like she said, if you just came home every night and just started typing away, it's like you never hit a block.
Not with this book. With the other book I mentioned, it's been much more difficult because it's not bang, 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 action, excitement, craziness. It's been more kind of inside, confusing.
Okay.
So you've had a little bit of trouble writing this next book.
Yeah.
So when would you like to have it out?
Oh, that's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say.
Another month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my.
It's
I don't know.
3/4 through editing, maybe.
Well,
But then
we've
you go
gone
back through again.
We've edited all the way through once.
Okay.
We're our second way through, and then I'll probably just look over it one more time. And then there's the whole publishing part. But I would say 2 to 3 months ish. I don't know. Take some, leave some. I don't know.
Okay.
So have you ever thought about maybe going to a professional publisher to see and visit them and see if maybe they'd like to publish a book for you?
I've thought about it a lot, actually. I'm hoping that if I can get my work out there and if it can become popular, that I'll have something to ground my whatever I'm going to be sending them to convince them that I'm an author that they're going to want to publish.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a very difficult process. I went to some writings meet clinic thing where they were just talking about how to do this, how to write query letters and such. And it's very difficult, especially now that independent publishing is getting so widely spread and popular, because now they're even more hesitant to take in new books to try.
Well, I was going to ask you, what are you doing around the high country? I know your book is being offered at Boone Drug. That's so exciting. That's so wonderful.
6 locations.
Yeah, where all is it being, where can people buy it?
Well, here in Boone, you can buy it at Blackbird Books, which is in the mall, and then, of course, Boone Drug. And it's also available through Amazon.com, both as a hard copy and as an ebook, which means you can read it on your Kindle or your Nook or whatever.
Right.
But,
And also the ASU bookstore. has
Yeah.
a
Oh,
really
that's so
good copy.
exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is it one of those ones on display like when you walk through?
It's actually more hidden, I would say.
okay.
It's
Is
next.
it in local authors?
I'm not sure. It was next to the Harry Potter books. So
Whoa,
I was
there
thinking.
you go, right there.
Okay,
I know,
so
my
How does that
yeah, so
make you
big
feel?
children.
You know, right, Harry Potter, Jay?
Well, my friends came up to me one day, and they said, "Kelsey, we saw your book at ASU bookstore. It was next to the Harry Potter books." And I was like, "Whoa, that's awesome!" But they haven't taken off at ASU yet just because I guess there's not as many parents with kids there.
Right.
But at Black Bear, it's been going really
Yeah.
well.
But I think it appeals to a wide range of readers. I'd say, golly,
Definitely.
any age really. But
So,
I think
adult,
particularly-
like a young adult and an
Right.
older
Sure.
adult
Yeah.
would love this book as well.
And I had an 8-year-old who enjoyed it too. I mean, I had such a wide audience, especially for this book.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty early, but let's talk a little bit about your future. She already, we already mentioned that you would like to continue writing and you hope to make a career out of that. Is there a school destination that you're already thinking about? A major, obviously, probably English or something.
I haven't really thought a whole lot about what school I'm going to go to as of now.
Right.
There's many different areas that I could pursue in writing. I could go for journalism or I could go for creative writing.
Right.
But I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
It's
And she
a
also
long way
enjoys
away.
filmmaking.
Yeah, I love filming.
God, man, you could just be like a journalist, and then you can be like a movie star, and everything putting together. Maybe you
Make
could
it
be
into a movie.
You can be
already.
like a director, a producer. That'd be awesome. You're gonna
She
be
would love
famous
that.
one day, and we're gonna
Thank
say,
you.
hey, we know, Kelsey.
We got it first. Yeah.
We got it first, guys. Sorry about it. So maybe give us some advice for maybe some young writers who are wanting to maybe start and get going, but they just don't really, have that motivation to get there.
I've been there, guys. I mean, I have been there. I mean, I remember when I was in 2nd grade, I felt like I could do it, but I didn't know how to get it out there. I didn't know how to really get it through. My first suggestion would be to actually write a full piece, which would mean, in my case, I would want them to participate in National Novel Writing Month, because that's a time where you can really get rid of all excuses and just write.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you can set your own word limits.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
some
20,000
yeah.
or 40,000 words. It could be smaller too. You could just start somewhere.
Right.
But and then for the motivation, that's definitely where they would find that would be National Novel Writing Month. And
When
then
is that?
it's November.
Okay, so it's only 1 month during the whole year. I didn't know if they did it a couple months out of the year.
Yeah, it's usually 1 month, and then the rest of the year they usually dedicate to editing and publishing.
It's interesting because she's looked up to other people who've been doing their novels and National Novel Writing Month and other people who participate in the writing groups, creative writing groups, and another writing group in the evenings at the Watauga County Public Library. But now she's starting to have younger people at school and so forth. And other schools too come up to her and asking her advice. So she
That's
thinks
an amazing feeling. I mean, it's like,
interesting
whoa.
change.
Wow.
Is your book offered, like, do they sell it all at your school? I didn't know if they've been, like, showing it off at school or not.
Not
They can't
really.
sell it at the
I don't-
school.
Yeah.
It's at the library.
Okay, it is in the library. Okay.
Yeah, and then one of the teachers read it to her classroom.
Right.
And then at the Business Expo, Hardin Park has a Business Expo where vendors who are, related to the school are able to come and sell some of their wares. You might have kids selling earrings or other
Books.
crafts.
Or
In her
books.
case, it was books. So she was able to sell it there,
Okay.
good.
That's great.
Would you like
but
to?
not normally inside the
Yeah,
school.
I understand. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was allowed.
Right.
Would you maybe want to read us a little excerpt from
I
the book?
can.
Yes, we'd love to hear something.
The piece I'm going to be reading is probably one of the sequences of action leading up to the climax.
Okay.
So,
You're not going to give anything away, are you?
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Suddenly, a booming crashing noise shook the coffee shop as the door swung open and smashed against the wall, sending cracks spinning up the wall like a spider web. "Oi!" hollered the man working at the coffee table in protest. Pintus turned around in his chair. Isabella's knuckles whitened. A towering, dangerous man was standing impressively in the doorframe. Snow gusted through the door around him. Pintus felt a surge of forbidding shoot through him. "The king is dead!" The entire coffee shop went silent. Pintus felt the room blur around him. "The king is dead, and the prince missing." Isabella dove across the table, knocking the coffees to the ground, and grabbed Pintus by his cloak collar before wrenching him down underneath the table.
That was awesome. God, I want to read. I want to know what happened.
That's great.
And
Yeah.
I think it's so impressive just because of how young you are. You have such a big vocabulary.
Yeah, and you give
as well.
such detail. I
Yeah.
mean, you gave the knuckles whitening. I mean, there was a lot of detail in that too. You can almost
Thank you.
envision it.
I'm so impressed by you.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
really am. And I'm so excited to hear about your future and all, what is in store for you as well. I mean, you've already started doing this, and I know you're going to have a really, really bright future as well.
Thank
We're
you.
really proud of her.
And I was going to ask her, what is the family? I know
Yeah.
you guys have supported her through every step
Certainly,
of this
but
process.
this has all been something within herself, and her dad and I joke that the only thing we did was not stand in her way. But she's very dedicated, persistent, hardworking young lady, and yeah, we just couldn't be any prouder.
Do you have maybe a motto or like something that you tell yourself every day before you sit down and ride, or just to keep you motivated?
I would say probably one word at a time, keep going. It doesn't matter if you get a sentence done or 6 pages done, keep going.
I like that.
That's great. All right, well, guys, thanks for
Thank you
coming in and sharing
so
with us.
much.
It was
Thank
a lot of
you.
fun.
I know, and we got to keep in touch so
Yeah.
we can hear about your next new novel when it's going to be released.
Yeah,
Definitely.
when you get it out, definitely
Yes.
we'll get you
Once
back
you-
in here and
yes.
we'll talk a little bit about it.
I know.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming in, guys.
Yeah,
we
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a minute with more MTN Channel 18.